Ever wondered why Texas Roadhouse is always packed, even with prices that aren't cheap and no discounts ever? Behind every juicy steak and warm roll is a strategy that keeps you coming back again and again. But is what you're enjoying worth your trust and your wallet? This video will uncover secrets the average diner never hears. Comment with the number 1 if you've eaten at Texas Roadhouse. 1. The secret behind the steak. When you slice into a ribeye at Texas Roadhouse and savor that seared, flavorful crust with tender, sweet meat inside, it's no accident. Behind that moment is a complex system not every restaurant chain has the patience to maintain. At every location, one person has a single job: hand-cutting beef daily. Not prepackaged, not vacuum-sealed from some distant factory, but fresh cuts processed right there. This costs Texas Roadhouse over $1 billion a year just for beef, a massive sum that could buy thousands of supercars. But it's what sets them apart from generic steakhouses. That's not all. The meat is stored in coolers kept at a precise 34 degrees Celsius, no higher, no lower. A few degrees off and ice crystals could ruin the texture. Too warm, and bacteria or off odors creep in. That's why a Texas Roadhouse steak is eerily consistent. Whether in Phoenix or Philadelphia, you get the same experience. Most importantly, their beef never sees a freezer. No freezing, no thawing, no faking freshness. In an era where fresh often means cleverly defrosted, Texas Roadhouse stands firm, stubborn, costly, but honest. When the meat hits the grill, there's no theatrics, no secret sauce or special technique. They let the beef speak for itself. When you bite into a New York strip, you taste the true essence of beef, unmasked by chemicals, no story needed. It's steak the old-school way. And that's why it feels so fresh in a sea of brands chasing cheap, fast formulas. 2. Made from scratch. If you think Texas Roadhouse only obsesses over beef, think again. Their from-scratch ethos doesn't stop at steak. It spreads across the kitchen, from salad plates to rice bowls. While many chains have surrendered to pre-packaged food for profit, Texas Roadhouse goes the opposite way. Every dish is cooked on-site, daily, from raw ingredients. No freezers full of reheatable meals. No industrial microwaves hiding behind the counter. And definitely no powdered mashed potatoes like the ones that haunted American school cafeterias. Here, even the simplest dishes get serious treatment. Croutons for salads? Cut from fresh bread and toasted each morning. Salad dressing? Mixed on-site with traditional recipes. Mashed potatoes? Made from real spuds, boiled, mashed, and seasoned. Not a mix stirred with hot water. Even their seasoned rice, which most places just dump into a rice cooker, takes over 3 hours to perfect. What's the payoff for customers? It's clear. The flavors are natural, no additives or flavor enhancers needed. Every spoonful of soup or scoop of potatoes feels real, not forced by industrial shortcuts. But the cost is steep. Cooking from scratch means more kitchen staff, longer prep times, and far higher expenses than standard practices. Texas Roadhouse accepts it all to keep their promise. When you walk in, your meal didn't come from a factory. In a world where eating is increasingly convenienced, who still peels potatoes, chops greens, or whips dressings by hand every morning? Very few. That's what makes Texas Roadhouse stand out. They choose the hard path, knowing you'll taste the difference from the first bite. 3. Legendary rolls and the every detail matters philosophy. No need for a long menu. No need for pricey appetizers. At Texas Roadhouse, one roll is enough to show why this place is so loved. Unlike other chains where bread is just an afterthought, at Texas Roadhouse, those tiny rolls are the first soul-touching moment for diners. They're baked fresh every 5 minutes all day, ensuring they hit your table hot, soft, and fragrant with fresh yeast. Each location bakes nearly 7,000 rolls daily. That's over $2 million a year per restaurant. But what makes Texas Roadhouse rolls legendary isn't just their soft texture or subtle sweetness. It's what comes with them: cinnamon honey butter. A spread that melts on the warm roll, blending cinnamon and honey into an experience that's almost emotional. This simple dish has college students, homesick diners, and expectant moms coming back for more. Some even write poems about it, displayed in restaurants. Texas Roadhouse could easily charge for these rolls and profit, but they don't. like the peanuts set out for free, which you can crack and toss shells on the floor. It's a small act that creates a warm, judgment-free vibe. The lesson isn't the roll itself, it's the philosophy behind it. When you respect every tiny detail of a meal, customers feel it. They don't need flashy ads to be convinced. They'll return, tell friends, and never forget. Texas Roadhouse doesn't need to say, "We put customers first." They just bring out a piping hot roll the moment you sit down and let the flavor tell the rest of the story. 4. Loud atmosphere by design. Walk into Texas Roadhouse, and the first thing you notice isn't the smell of grilled meat or clinking dishes. It's the sound. Lively country music, staff shouting warm greetings, laughter filling the air. Noisy? Maybe. But it's not random. Instead of aiming for a quiet, upscale restaurant where kids are shushed and loud laughs draw stares, Texas Roadhouse creates a vibrant, energetic space that frees people from everyday constraints. Culinary psychology research shows moderate background noise not only makes food taste better, but also gives diners a sense of privacy, even in a crowd. That buzz lets a big laugh, a dropped fork, or a baby's cry blend in without awkwardness. And in that space, unusual things happen. Staff suddenly break into line dances between tables. It's not just for fun, it's culture. Some locations were asked to stop because it was too loud. They didn't. They got special permits to keep the tradition alive. Got a birthday? You're not just sung to, you're hoisted onto a saddle on a wooden frame, the star of the restaurant for a few minutes. For introverts, it might feel daunting, but oddly, most end up grinning ear to ear. Even the peanut shell-covered floor is part of the plan. The crunchy sound underfoot makes the space feel relaxed, encouraging diners to be themselves. Here, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be you. That's why families, especially those with kids, feel at ease walking into Texas Roadhouse. No one's judging. No one's annoyed. Everyone's having fun. It's not just dining. It's a calculated release that Texas Roadhouse carefully crafts. 5. Free peanuts and rolls. Before you even order, Texas Roadhouse gives you gifts. Not coupons or loyalty points, but two simple things: fresh shelled peanuts and hot rolls with cinnamon honey butter. And the kicker? You can have as much as you want, no limit. Start with the peanuts. Buckets brimming with them sit on every table, no need to order first. Crack them open, toss the shells on the floor, something rude elsewhere is encouraged here. That crunch sound, mixed with country music, quietly melts the tension between strangers. You feel looser, less guarded, and ready to eat more. Stats show each location goes through 60,000 pounds of peanuts a year, equal to the weight of 5 adult elephants. Why waste so much? It's an investment, the subtlest kind of marketing, giving customers something unexpected. Then there are the rolls, fresh baked every 5 minutes. Hot, fluffy, lightly sweet. And the real star? Cinnamon honey butter, a sweet, fragrant spread that melts on your tongue. Some call it a dessert in disguise. Here's the thing. It's all free. Not on the bill, no limits, and you can even ask to take some home. Each location bakes 7,000 rolls daily. In a year, that's enough to stretch from New York to Miami if lined up. For most restaurants, this would be a loss. For Texas Roadhouse, it's an emotional trap. No diner feels like a number when greeted with such generosity. It makes them loosen their wallets and order freely, without feeling pushed. Giving isn't losing. Giving builds loyalty, and Texas Roadhouse knows that better than anyone. 6. An unchanging menu. In a world where restaurants constantly roll out new dishes for seasons, trends, or social media hype, Texas Roadhouse does the opposite. They've kept nearly their entire menu the same for decades. Sounds boring? But that stubbornness is exactly what sets them apart. Think about it. When you return to a favorite restaurant, you crave the dish you loved, the one that brought you back. But if it's changed or gone because of a menu refresh, how do you feel? Disappointed and less trusting. Texas Roadhouse gets that. Since 1993, their menu has barely budged. Core dishes like hand-cut steaks, fall-off-the-bone ribs, and homemade mashed potatoes stay true to their original flavors and methods. Fewer than 5 new items have been added in a decade, while competitors swap menus every few months. Their philosophy is clear. When you're doing it right, keep doing it right. Don't chase novelty if the classics keep customers coming back. This doesn't just build comfort. Knowing your meal will taste the same every visit. It also sharpens quality. Without learning dozens of new recipes each quarter, chefs can focus on perfecting the originals. That's why a ribeye in Phoenix tastes just like one in Philadelphia. They don't reinvent. They don't experiment. They just nail it. In an industry chasing fads, rainbow burgers, sushi and cocktail glasses, or meatless meat, Texas Roadhouse stands still. And by not running, they become a reliable anchor in customers' minds. A place where you know what you'll eat, what you'll get, and how you'll feel. Sometimes repetition isn't stale. It's a promise of loyalty. That's why Texas Roadhouse doesn't need to be new to hold its old spot in diners' hearts. 7. Family-friendly experience. If you're a parent dining out with kids, you know the anxiety of a child shouting, spilling drinks, or grabbing food from the next table. Most restaurants put parents on high alert, constantly on guard, like tightrope walkers. But Texas Roadhouse flips that. They make chaos feel like part of the fun. You walk in, and the floor is littered with peanut shells. Not a cleaning oversight, but intentional. The crunchy shells underfoot mean no one bats an eye when a kid drops food. No judgment, no frowns. The lively vibe, country music blaring, birthday cheers, staff line dancing, blends into a noisy but warm symphony. It's not disorganized chaos. It's a space where you're allowed to be you, even if you're a 5-year-old. Texas Roadhouse doesn't just welcome kids with a smile. They design the space for families, wide tables with room for high chairs, seating far from the bar, and a kids menu with over 10 dishes, perfectly portioned and super affordable. They even provide coloring sheets and paper games so kids don't dread the wait for food. These small touches cut down on the mini meltdowns parents face at dinner. The result? A 2022 survey found 78% of parents felt relaxed dining with kids at Texas Roadhouse, compared to just 32% at other popular chains. Their success isn't in kid-specific meals. It's in crafting a space where families don't apologize for having kids. A place where you can sip a cold beer while your child hops on peanut shells, without a single side-eye. In a restaurant world growing polished and distant, Texas Roadhouse embraces raw, messy, joyful moments, including kids' giggles. They know nothing keeps customers longer than making the whole family feel welcome. 8. Drinks. You might come to Texas Roadhouse for the steak, but what keeps you lingering is often a drink, mixed just right, tasting perfect, hitting the right mood. At the bar, you'll spot something different. Frosty margaritas shimmering in misted glasses. These aren't fancy cocktails for show. They're true refreshment art, mixed fresh on-site with real ingredients. No industrial shortcuts. Texas Roadhouse sells over 5 million margaritas a year. The classic lime reigns supreme, but curious diners try strawberry, mango, or the Jamaican cowboy, a blend of rum, fruit juice, and a spicy cinnamon kick. It's a surprising twist amid a hearty meal. Want something lighter? The Armadillo Punch, with its playful name, mixes vodka and fruit juice. Soft, feminine, but strong enough to ease your soul. Beer lovers? No worries. They keep draft beer at a crisp 36 degrees, served in properly chilled glasses. No dishwater warm brews like at some spots. Each cold sip spreads from tongue to throat, perfectly cutting the richness of grilled meat. Non-drinkers get pampered too. Fresh squeezed lemonade with real fruit puree, not flavored syrup. Some even visit just for a strawberry lemonade and cinnamon butter rolls, feeling right at home. A heads up though. A raspberry margarita packs 425 calories, more than many sides. The Hurricane Margarita has nearly 3 ounces of alcohol, double a standard cocktail. But if you're chasing a full experience, these drinks are the perfect frosting on your steak cake. While many restaurants treat drinks as an upsell afterthought, Texas Roadhouse sees them as mood makers. Dinner isn't just eating, it's feeling. And sometimes, it all starts with a clink of glasses full of meaning. 9. Affordable pricing. In an era where you might get charged extra just for asking for a lemon slice, finding a restaurant with hearty portions, consistent quality, and reasonable prices feels like a fairy tale. But Texas Roadhouse is quietly rewriting that story in its own real, unique way. A family dinner here runs about $75 to $85, covering mains, sides, and drinks. With portions big enough to keep you full until tomorrow night, this price isn't just okay, it's a steal. No more feeling like you spent a fortune to nibble paper-thin meat. Instead, every plate delivers clear satisfaction. For adults, there's the early bird deal from 4 to 6 p.m. Steep discounts on steaks and ribs. It saves money and skips the crowds. For kids, meals are around $7, including 2 sides and a drink. While other chains nickel and dime for kids' extras, Texas Roadhouse sticks to its principle. Your kid's portion deserves as much care as yours. What's surprising? These wallet-friendly prices still come with real ingredients, real spaces, and real service. It's not cheap from cutting corners. It's affordable because they operate smart, skipping flashy nonsense that doesn't add value. According to industry reports, Texas Roadhouse keeps profit margins about 15% lower than competitors, choosing loyalty over gouging customers. That straightforward strategy might be the foundation of their long-term devotion. When fair prices meet steady quality, you don't hesitate to open your wallet. Instead of a special rare treat, dining at Texas Roadhouse becomes a familiar habit, a choice you know is worth every penny. Amid quiet inflation and menus full of gimmicks, Texas Roadhouse's affordable might sound old-fashioned, but it's what keeps people coming back, time after time. 10. Community responsibility. While many chains treat social responsibility as a short-term PR stunt, Texas Roadhouse shows it through action, steady, practical, and quiet. They don't need colorful banners everywhere because every free meal and silent donation speaks for itself. On average, each location donates about $25,000 yearly to local community efforts. No middlemen, no corporate mandates. Store managers decide who to help and where, because they know their neighborhoods best. That's a rare, built-in humanity few big chains maintain. During floods, wildfires, or pandemics, Texas Roadhouse kitchens fire up overnight, preparing thousands of hot meals for firefighters, medical workers, and residents. They don't wait for thank yous or issue press releases. To them, it's just the right thing to do. For veterans and active military, they go further. Over the years, Texas Roadhouse has served more than 1.5 million free meals to those who've served the nation. They don't ask about rank, role, or income. If you stood on the front lines, they serve you a hot meal with genuine gratitude. What's special? These efforts don't inflate menu prices or sneak onto your bill. Unlike some places that spread donation costs to customers, Texas Roadhouse funds it all from their operating budget. Not out of legal obligation, but because they truly believe a restaurant can be a kind part of society. In an age where every brand shouts about community responsibility, Texas Roadhouse quietly does the right thing. No spotlight needed. That's what makes them stand out. Because in the end, you're not just eating steak, you're supporting a chain that believes kindness can start in the kitchen. Whether you love the lively vibe, the sweet cinnamon butter melting on hot rolls, or just want a place with real quality, real value, Texas Roadhouse is a stop worth remembering. No trend chasing, no flashiness. They stick to the core. Food made by hand, served from the heart, and deeply tied to the community. If you value lasting worth in every meal, give this video a like, share it with friends, and subscribe to catch more insightful consumer stories.